I said, yo. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. I said, yo. It's your host, Quest Mcody. I said, yo, podcast. We got a special guest in the building. I want to make sure to bring him in the right way. We got hailing from the great city of Kansas City, Missouri, Super Bowl champions. 30 plus battles, over 2 million views. A wordsmith, one of the top battlers in the game right now. One of the most skilled. That one of my favorite things is his wit, his humor, and his ability to rebut on the spot. Something that I believe would transcend him from the battlers of before to the battlers in the future. Just an all-around good guy, man. A cool dude. One of the most genuine people I've met in this culture since I've been around. My homie, I need y'all to make some noise for A Ward. Everybody's gonna go crazy. I'm gonna add the sound effects and stuff. They just gonna people gonna fly up out the bottom of the screen. It's gonna be like that TikTok where everybody dancing in the middle. What's up, man?
Bro, thank you, bro. Thank you for the introduction, man. It's super kind of you, bro. Just from being a fan of you and a supporter of you for so many years, you know, and just to be able to kind of like meet you through this art and get to know you and your family. And, you know, it's just from a genuine aspect, be able to cultivate our friendship from there. You know, sometimes they say you never want to meet your idols or the people you watch because you don't know, like, you like watching them, but like meeting you, you know, like you're even that much better of a dude, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a solid dude, man. So I appreciate your friendship. Appreciate you having me on, man.
Word, man. I appreciate you taking the time. It's wild. I met A Ward. I think we like met in passing, but like the first time we actually had conversation, it was a blackout. It was at Blackout, right?
Yeah, Blackout. Yep.
Yeah.
When I battled DNA, so I think that was 2016. So 4 years ago, something like that.
Yeah, and that's wild, man, because I think about like when you started just doing this, just battling, like your rise to quote unquote stardom was pretty quick, man. Like you had like three like run of the mill battles. You did a GZ, and then you got busy at the Gully versus Gantic. I just put a T in Gantic, man.
Yeah.
Gantic.
We had to cross everything, man.
Right, there it is. But tell me about that, man, because it's been a quick ascension.
Yeah. You know, like I said, I've been watching battle rap for years, man. To show my age, like I graduated in 2004, and so I watched battle rap all through high school, college, and everything like that. And I started battling right before I turned 30. And
Okay.
I told myself, like, you don't have time to do another free hobby. Like, you're an adult. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, if you're not good at this, like really in the next 6 months to a year, like, then you know what? It was cool. You did it.
It was cool.
You
knock it off your bucket list and move on or something.
yeah, that's how it was. Like, I was like, I got too much going on. And so, like you said, I had 3 or 4 battles. And then obviously being like a Christian rapper, that definitely helps with, you know, some, you know, publicity in regards to there not being very many Christian rappers. And so, you know, my battles, the first 4 kind of took off with views. And then I think that people at first kind of was like, is he just the gimmick? And then they realized, like, after the franchise DNA Real Deal battle, they're like, oh no, he's actually a really, you know, really talented dude. And I think that's kind of why I didn't have to go back and start battling all of these guys in the minor leagues and proving I think it was kind of a case of like, yo, he can compete with us. Like, all right, you know, let's work. So but yeah, you're right, man. I mean, bro, like I go from, you know, 2014 to watching, you know, these dudes like run into my YouTube videos and sitting at home and like, and then like 2 years later, I'm like at events. And I remember when I battled franchise, like I walked into World Dom and I was just gonna go over and introduce myself to Chilla.
Right.
And he was like, yeah, Ward, I know who you are. And I was like, oh no, that's not cool. You know, like
Oh, man.
I was like, this is not cool because I had to battle the next day. And I was like, I can't fly under the radar. Like Head Ice was like, whoa, I've seen you before. I was like, no, I was trying to like surprise y'all on day
Right,
3.
right.
Now you already seen the battles, and I'm like, oh, I start
Yeah.
freaking out.
Man, that used to be the art. This is one of my Al Bundy stories here. That used to be the dope thing about like before like everybody was on YouTube. Like I was on TV, but I was still able to sneak in battles and like win some money. And they'd be like, "What the like?" So I get it. It's like, yo, man, y'all not supposed to be watching yet. Now I do want to
Yeah.
talk about like what you went through your first battle, how you felt your first battle. But before we get there, I want to just talk about just you coming up. Like, what got you into hip hop? What got you into hip hop?
Yeah. I grew up single parent in government housing. My older brother was a rapper. A lot of people know him. His name's Cannon,
Yeah, I met
Sean
Cannon.
Cannon on Facebook.
Yeah.
Most people know him as Sean Cannon on Facebook, the guy that they love his posts but are afraid to like him. But he was kind of my idol growing up because my pops wasn't really around at the time. For like the first 15 years of my life, my dad was like just in and out. Um, and so like my big brother, like he rapped, his father had left. His father left when he was like 2. He's my half brother. That's why we have different last names. And he rapped, he bought me shoes, he hung out with me, put me on to all kinds of stuff when I was like 10, 11, 12 years old. And so like he kind of just solely influenced the whole idea of like kind of the things that I was passionate about. The only thing that we really didn't have in common was that I played sports and he didn't.
Okay.
So, I just saw hip hop totally through his eyes. So like
Mm.
my first I was fans of Wu-Tang and Cash Money, and he listened to a lot of Tila. He listened to a lot of, just a bunch of random different hip hop artists, Nas and Jay-Z and stuff. And so I started writing, I started writing poetry. He was the rapper of the family. He put out so many albums in East Tennessee, and he was well known in the city and stuff. And so I just wrote poetry, man. I just
Word.
kind of was like, I'll do something a little different. And that was kind of my introduction to hip hop. As I grew older in high school, I played high school basketball, I played college basketball.
Word. Where'd you
My
play? Where'd you
I played
play?
point guard at Kansas Christian College. So I came to Kansas
Oh.
City from Tennessee to play basketball at a Christian college. And so yeah, just growing up and kind of idolizing my brother, it really kind of helped shape like what I was exposed to, who I hung out with, the things that I liked and stuff like that. And
Mm.
that was just my whole upbringing was that. And then plus the fact, like I said, single parent, government housing, like we kind of grew up, in certain areas that were influenced by hip hop as well. So
Word. Word. So,
yeah.
were you initially, because I find it always interesting to talk to people that got into battle rap more recently than later. When I got into battle rap, I got into battle rap because I wanted people to listen to my music. And it was like, hey, I got some music. These people know you because you battle. So that's just how it was where I was at. It really wasn't uh, a main stage to shoot for. It was just like, yo, I
Right.
battle, but I want to do this. Did you get into? I know you got into hip hop. How you explain? Did you get into battle rap initially, or did you get into actually create music? Because I saw
Yeah.
your Pen and Pixels cover from back in the day, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, bro. I started doing music because like when I moved to Kansas City, that was kind of like I separated myself from like my home and stuff, and I wasn't like under my brother's shadow. I was kind of growing up to be like my own adult, and I'm like, yo, like I could rap out here, you know what I mean? Like
Mm.
I can make music stuff like that. And so I told him I wanted to do it. And at this time, I'm like in Bible college, like the Lecrae's and the Truths, and these guys are kind of big and stuff. And so I'm finding that 80% of Christian hip hop is pretty trash and whack, like, but there is like I'm listening to this 20% that I actually think is very like good music or whatever. So I'm like, influenced that way. So from 2007 to 2014, I put out 4 albums. I signed with a label and I put out a spoken word album.
Okay.
And I did I basically went around the region, Kansas City, Oklahoma, Texas, Nebraska, and I performed and I rapped, my music, and I did spoken word pieces.
Okay.
But like I'm the opposite. I might be the first person that you ever heard say this is I started battle rapping to get people to stop listening to my music. I
What?
was not good, bro. Like I was
Okay.
like, I like doing it, but like I knew that this is not what I'm like. I'm not good at this. You know what I mean? Like
Mm,
I don't make great music. And so a lot of people ask me about music now that I'm battling. And my biggest concern is putting out a product on wax that doesn't match how good I am at battling. And then, like people like having a different look at me. Like,
yeah.
oh, bro, like seriously, that's nah, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't want that. So like to me, like battle rap is my fastball, and then music is my changeup. You know what I mean? Like that. If I need to go out and do a show and do some songs, I got some songs that I'm comfortable and confident with. I enjoy doing it, but it's not like a passion. It's not like something. It's like I'm trying to get people to, like
Okay.
you were your intro was.
Okay. That's interesting. When you when you first when you had your first battle, like let's talk about like your first few battles. Like what did it feel like? Cuz I know like I used to always have to like excuse me.
Yeah.
I used to always have to use the bathroom or whatever or do a number 2 before a battle. Like it wouldn't matter what was going on, man. Like I'd be like, oh man, I gotta. I've dropped them in some of the worst places like you could imagine, bruh.
Uh,
Like I,
you in public restrooms?
man, I'm talking filthy, man. I'm talking like you're not touching. You're trying to like you wish you could fly. Like so you wouldn't have to touch anything. I wish I could just hover, like
Yeah,
levitate.
that's hilarious,
Um, t-
man.
tell me about your first feelings
Yeah,
before battles.
what's weird? The weird thing is a lot of people ask me like, was I nervous and this? And I tell people a lot of times, I feel like my transition to battle rap was very easy. I was such a battle rap fan. I was heavily influenced by battle rap and how I already wrote. And I did spoken word, poetry slams, open mics all around the city, 2, 3 times
Hmm.
a week. I'm known, so like I'm rocking stages and I'm doing different things in front of different audiences. So like the idea of battle rap, it didn't. I mean, the transition was not difficult for me because you know how like industry cats like they'll get into battle rap and they'll rap with the rhythm that they would on a song,
Hmm.
but like I didn't have good rhythm on the song, so I was rapping like battle raps on the
On
song.
the
You know what I mean?
song,
So it's
so it
kind
ain't
of
even yeah.
like I found like oh my gosh, I'm home. I can breathe. I can
Hey yo,
wait a
this is
second.
the pocket. I don't care. I make the
Yeah,
pocket. Yeah, I mean, yeah, man. That's
yeah.
I never thought
Yeah,
about
but
it.
like I remember my first couple of battles, man. Like I was nervous. I was so prepped, bro. I had rounds and everything done 2 weeks before the battle, ready to go,
Hmm.
inviting people out. Nervous, yeah. The funny thing is you say you had to take a crap or whatever before. That was me in college basketball, every basketball game, before every
Word.
basketball game. Like battle rap wise though, I wake up, I eat breakfast, everything was in Kansas City, so like I invite people over to the house, we spar a little, and I go down there and work. So I don't have too many like rituals or anything. The one ritual that a lot of people see is that I always make sure that we publicly pray in the venue with people. Like I want to be. I'm not trying to be on camera and do some documentary or nothing like that. But I want to be visible, to the crowd and everything, and them see that my brothers that are with me, that we'll get it in and we'll pray, and then I'll go on stage. And so that's the one thing that we make sure we do.
Yeah, man. I think I see y'all do that. Or I've saw it once, and I think I think a lot of people would want to join y'all in that word.
Yeah,
I think I always catch y'all like in the middle of it, and
yeah, yeah,
I always appreciate that. I did one of the questions I always wanted to know when you first got into hip hop or when you first got into battle rap. Let's be battle raps specific. What was the response or how was the support or the viewpoint of what you were doing within the church when you started?
Oh, it was very mixed, bro. Like I learned what quickly in battle rap. The whole you never read the YouTube comments. The number one rule is don't read the YouTube comments.
Yeah.
So to give some context, my first battle, I battled a guy named Charlie Atlas. At the time, we had Saga, Street Hymns, and Loso had done a battle, but it wasn't released yet. So nobody had kind of heard of Loso yet. So I'm the first white Christian battle rapper. But also, so I battled this dude. Not to mention, I strategically showed up like in a trucker hat and a Royals t-shirt. Like I didn't want people, I wanted people to think like, oh, he's battling. You know what I mean? Like I kind of wanted to catch them by surprise because the Kansas City battle rap scene was a little bit different and they didn't know me from like the spoken word poetry scene and stuff. So I go in and I battle this dude. And I smoke him or whatever. And then one of the big Christian websites that puts out all the Christian rap music, they put an article out that says Christian rapper knocks out secular opponent. Now, mind you, I don't have nothing to do with this, right? Like I'm just, the battle drops, I posted. Well, they clickbait the mess out of the article, right? I mean, and the people are like, "Yo, what the hell did he punch him in?" Like people are thinking that I literally
that you hit him.
out,
Oh wow,
yeah, So I already feel this type of way of you titling it Christian against secular opponent. It's just real clickbait, then knocks out or whatever. So, but I say that to this, I got like 50,000 views on my first battle in the first week.
Wow,
and so I never had anything like publicity like that ever before. So I'm getting messages and messages and messages. And back to the original question, I'm getting so many messages from Christians and so many comments from Christians that says, I don't know why he's doing down there. This is not godly. You're there. You know what I mean? Like all kinds of negativity, I'm reading messages from pastors that don't know me from nothing that are saying, you're conforming to the ways of the world. And boom, boom, boom. There's no light. All of that kind of stuff,
How'd that make you feel?
Man, it sucked at first. I got real mad. I wanted to respond to everybody, but I've always lived by like a code of like, man, if you're not one of my close friends, if you're not somebody that I deal with on a regular, your opinion to me can, it can be just that, like I know my brothers, my accountability group, my family, my friends, they all know that that's not who I am. They all know that my
and they
heart
judge you based on your character, not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, you just see, there's so many people that are Christians that do different things that might have a heart of gold about it, but might just, it might just look different than what you do. You know what I mean? And like to just jump down somebody's throat and say that they're not doing the Lord's will or whatever, this is super, super corny,
Yeah.
But one thing I'll say in my beliefs, in my relationship with God, I've always been the kind of person to where I never judge God off of the character of his people, because these people are so flawed. Like I'm never gonna say like, oh, here's this group of Christians over here that can't stand me because y'all are trash and y'all got some weird, different Christian beliefs. You know what? Christianity's not for me. You know what I mean? Like I can't.
Right.
I never really, because I know how humans are so flawed.
Right.
So yeah, man, I got a lot of feedback from the church, but for every 2 or 3 people that had something to say that said, there's no room for Christians to be doing that kind of stuff. There's people like Bizzle, people like Emmanuel Acho, the dude on Sports Center. Like there's guys that are Christians or whatever that say, yo man, like we really really encouraging and stuff. So there's the other side of it too. So
that's dope, man. I know I've always, and I believe that we've had public debates online about this, back and forth. I know myself and Street Hymns, we had a conversation because I always stood on the ground where I was like, yo, it's just rap. And I understand putting Christian in front of it, and I understand why. I always thought that society has a way of suppressing positive messages. Or like, and it's weird to me when we live in a place where everybody wants to be happy.
Right.
It's weird that
until you turn a beat on, man, I don't want to hear none of that.
Like, but it's like, yo, everybody strives. The one thing that we all have in common, it doesn't matter what walk of life you're from, you would like to be happy. Now, if doing bad stuff makes you happy, then hey, you want to be happy. If doing good stuff makes but yo, I want to be happy. Where do you believe? Do you believe that within the message that you give out within you battling, because I always enjoy you because you not only do you have fun, you put some food on the plate too, and there's some dessert It's some
Yeah,
entertainment. Like you mix it up, so you do a very good job of making sure you're still feeding and giving somebody something nutritious within the battle, but you're also
yeah.
battling. Do you think that your impact to your audience, or maybe you getting your message across, and maybe not just you, I don't want to single it out to you,
Right.
uh, when those messages are more encrypted, do they translate to the masses more? Because I know people that just hear Christian rap,
Yeah.
Christian, like like, and because
Yeah.
you put Christian in front of it, they believe that it's not as good.
Yeah, no. I mean, I wholeheartedly believe that battle rap, the culture of battle rap, the type of fan that battle rap has, the eyes that are on battle rap is unique, a unique group of people.
Mm-hmm.
And there are people that the minute that, I was labeled Christian battler that decided that day that they were not an A Ward fan, which
Mm-hmm.
more power to you. I get it. But like you said, man, is when you're feeding your toddler broccoli and you gotta put cheese around it, and you gotta,
Yeah.
like sometimes, like to stay the one thing I love about hip hop is they spot a fake from a mile away. If I came
Mm-hmm.
in here and was talking about guns and drugs or whatever, like I would not be where I'm at because that's not who I am.
Mm-hmm.
So they, even though it might be a belief that they don't believe, people can say, I appreciate your genuineness. I appreciate you are rapping like who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And so I definitely believe that there are, I mean, even in the last 4 years, bro, I could count 15, 20 conversations that I've had with people, battlers, fans of battle rap, that probably would never have those conversations with anybody else, a family member that was a Christian or a pastor, or that would never reach out and say.
Mm-hmm.
But because we have a common denominator of being a battle rapper, or because they look and say, you're a peer, you're a friend, they feel more comfortable to say, hey, man, like, can you pray for me? My mom's going through this, boom, or they feel comfortable to say, like, hey, bro, like, I grew up in church. Like, all I did was, like,
Mm-hmm.
sing and not, and so we
And I
have those
feel like, yeah,
conversations.
and I feel like they
Yeah,
gotta
and
hide
so
it.
yeah, and I always like as an artist, I always had that vision of like when I started rapping, like one day I'm gonna be on the Summer Jam stage, 100,000 people, and I'm gonna be
Mm-hmm.
rapping, and they're gonna love me and cheer me on. The crazy thing about battle rap is I battled my first battle in front of 38 people in a small room, but 100,000 people cheered me on. You know what I mean? Like 100,000 people have seen that
Yeah.
battle. So that in my mind is like, if I could stand on a stage in front of 100,000 people, what would I want to tell them or leave them with?
Yeah.
Well, I could be in a room with 18 people in Alaska, but 100,000 people might watch that. So what do I want to leave them with? And I always want to leave them with a little bit of this, a little bit of that,
Mm.
to be able to say, I was myself and I kind of stood on what I stood for. So.
Did you struggle with that when you first started rapping, or did you kind of know where you were going initially? Like, did you go through a phase?
I think I struggle. Like, if you're struggling, you mean like just juggling the whole like
Just
beliefs
finding
other
yourself,
than battling?
just finding yourself, more so.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I think I mean, I knew when I first started doing music or writing, I was Christian. You know what I mean? So I didn't have the story of my this one song I did when I was 16 about posting on the corner in my
Yeah,
Tim's.
yeah,
So I
yeah.
don't have that. So I always kind of knew like my beliefs and kind of who what I wanted to rap about. When I got into battle rap, um, it was such a different dynamic because, like we've talked about, it's competition.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't want to. I don't want to come in there and, like you said, preach and shove stuff down your throat and be that guy. Like I don't want to be that. I'm not that guy in real life. I'm not, standing on the corner giving you tracks and saying, "Hey, don't go to hell." I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
But I also like don't want to conform to. Dang, man, I really gotta find different ways to kill, murder, and hurt and make fun of people so that I can win this battle.
Right, right, right,
So
right.
like and so sometimes like in battle rap, like I'm consistently trying to it's funny, I'm trying to figure out what kind of battler I am. And I've come to the grips with like I'm just such a versatile battler. Like that's who I'm a melting pot of almost everything. Like you said, you appreciate the wit and different things. Some people appreciate the scheme. Some people appreciate the jokes, different things, So I'm kind of just, really, really well rounded and trying to kind of like hone that skill that, that there's really kind of like a not predictableness whenever you battle me.
Yeah, and you do a good job. Let's switch it up a little bit, man. I think we talked a lot about battling.
Mhm.
I got some questions. I always do these top fives,
Gotcha.
and number one, before we even move any further, man, congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs for getting
Thank
busy.
you.
Man, I know you were definitely
The
turned up.
Lions are gonna get it one day, bro. The Lions are gonna
Never
get it.
listen, man. The
Bro,
Lions
we
have
waited
not.
years, 40, 50. I mean,
I have never seen my city happy about the Lions.
and that's that.
Not what I mean. Like ever since Barry left, I've never
Hmm.
seen like we go to the games, but I've never seen us just like man,
Right,
man. I'm so proud to be a Lion. Like
right. Chest bumps and all that,
nah, bro.
like
Like we just got sad fans, man. Like our fans that are like diehard Lions fans, they're like, remember Eeyore that used to follow Pooh around? Oh, Pooh.
yeah,
Like they're just like borderline on the edge. Like we got to put them on suicide watch, man.
that's
Um,
fun.
so you play basketball, so we gotta go. We gotta go basketball. We gotta go basketball. You play point guard. Top five. How good is your basketball knowledge, man? What's up, man?
I mean, it's solid. It's solid. If
It's
you're gonna go
solid.
top five of my favorite or top five that I
Nah,
think ever.
nah. I was gonna give you top five backup guards ever.
Oh, backup guards.
Backup
Andre Miller.
guards. Hey, yo, Andre Miller, man, he played forever, man. He had
Man,
that.
he really did.
Yo, his afro
He
was
killed
perfect. I used to be mad, man.
CJ Watson. I love CJ Watson, bro. He was cold for like a backup guard.
Yeah. Who else?
Sam Cassell was technically Vernon Maxwell's backup, I think.
Man, Sam Cassell might be the funniest looking
Right.
basketball player to ever exist, bruh.
I think until Sheldon Williams. And Sheldon Williams, I don't know if he's divorced now, but he married Candace Parker. But Sheldon Williams was a funny looking dude. Like he and I don't know how he pulled Candace Parker, bro.
Man. All right, so we got, I got to throw a piston in there. Like are we skipping like is Steve Kerr really like was he a good guard or do we just make him better because he
No,
coaches the
yeah,
Golden State
yeah,
Warriors
yeah.
now?
He's
Now
magnified by the
like
coaching and
like he
the
wasn't
basketball
going to
skills.
the Hall of Fame before he got to.
I don't think so. If he
Okay,
was,
cool.
it was because he was tied to the Bulls organization, and it was just some, it's like
Okay,
being a cowboy.
right, right, right.
Um, who I used to like? Lucius Harris. He came off the bench for the Nets back when
Mm.
they had Vince
I
Carter
remember
and stuff.
Lucius.
And
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I used to like Lucius.
All right, one more. We
Um,
got one more.
mm, who else? I mean, you talking point guards because the backup guard Lou Williams is probably
Lou
the
Will,
best.
man, he gotta be like if I were to pick like my top backup guards, Lou Will
Yeah.
definitely would be in there. Lou Will, Crawford, Vinny Johnson. You don't know nothing about Vinny Johnson. That's a Detroit Piston from
Oh
the
yeah.
Bad Boys back to back
Mm-mm.
championships. Um, oh man, backup guards. I'm stuck. I need two more. I need two more. Uh oh man, what? John Starks.
Oh yeah,
John
John
Starks
Starks. Yeah,
came off the bench.
I was gonna say Kenny Smith too. I think Kenny Smith
Oh
came off the
man,
bench.
Kenny, yeah. When he started, he was crazy good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kenny Smith, Kenny Smith. All right, man. We going you're on a road trip. You're in a four-door sedan with three other fictional characters from primetime television, anytime, all time. Who are the three people in this car with you? And you're driving from Missouri to you're on an 8 hour drive.
Right. Okay. All right. Who is in the car with me? Man, Michael Scott's in the car. Michael Scott's uh from The Office.
Okay, yeah.
Uh, Michael Scott's in the car. Who else? Rachel Green's in the car from
Okay.
Friends.
Okay. Rachel.
Um, yeah.
That's a weird
Uh,
pairing. That
dang.
those two. Okay, I rate Rachel. Okay.
Let's see. Who else? I need one more.
You got to tell me why, man. Why each person? Why Rachel?
Rachel Green, that's my childhood crush, man.
Okay.
That's my that's
She
like
gotta come with you.
Topanga.
That's like my
That's like
Topanga.
Prince
I was just
Topanga.
about to say, man, I was so mad when Topanga retweeted Chilla. I was
So,
so mad, man. I was mad.
I see
I've never been more upset at my friend. All right,
that.
all right, so boom.
um, and then I'm trying to think of primetime television. um, just because I just got done watching it, Ron Swanson from Parks and Rec.
Yo, man, you are gonna that's a trip for Rachel might get out the
I,
car, man, and leave y'all.
yeah, well, yeah, they can drive. We'll just chill in the
You
back.
chill in the back.
I love my wife.
Cool. Yo, man. I wanna like just I don't know, like a lot of times the fans don't get to see the way we all interact behind the scenes and they think it's like this like brick wall in between uh let's let's say yourself and the other battlers and they don't get that like hey man we hang out we have conversations we talk we exchange ideas and it's much more of a brotherhood in the sense of man if you're anywhere on the planet like and I'm there you're good if I'm good
Right.
and and how we make sure we give each other heads ups. Y'all came out to Detroit. I couldn't get with y'all, but Marv got with y'all and touch base
Yeah.
or whatever. Um, give the fans an idea of what like a war road trip or a battle trip is usually like.
Yeah. I mean, bro, I have such a good time on battle trips. Like I don't know if like you like before I book battles, I try to get the top 5 6 guys that I hang out with on the same cards because I
Yeah,
know like how we're gonna kick it. And what's crazy is a lot of people think like oh it must be like the Four Horsemen or it must be like YTG and it is not. I mean it's like
sometimes
it's
it's like
you,
real
Real
deal.
Deal,
Like we
you,
just
Real
all
Deal,
got the
Marv, Chilla.
yeah we just all
Yeah,
got together. It's wild, man. We were supposed to be having one of those trips.
yeah,
It was supposed to be this month. We were
right.
supposed to be in Alaska. And
Right, exactly. And so, like it's such a vacation and business type trip. Like you're on your way to your battle, you're locked in, you're not paying attention to anybody else ever, until you get there and see some people that and then like you said, man, it's just hanging out. It's just stories like this. Me and Marv, top 10,
yeah,
Will Ferrell movie
man,
conversations, is
what?
watching. Yeah, it's terrible continental breakfast. It's finding hole in
Ah,
the wall places to eat. It's um, and then like you said, like it's just building, bro, and it's a beautiful thing. Like to just say like, yeah, I just showed up this weekend and there was a dude from Detroit, who don't look like me, who didn't grow up like me, or whatever, but like we were able to like chop it up, kick it, have fun, and build a friendship or whatever. And that's what battle rap is for the most part. I'm not gonna sit here and say everybody is your best friend because they're not. But for the most part, it's a big family. It's a big family that has each other's back because we kind of know the work and everything that goes into it. And I think that like people like yourself, pioneers of battle rap, gravitate to the people who still appreciate the art, but also, are there because, it's an extension of their life, And
Yeah,
so like you can't just go out there and try to be friends with every 32 grabbers that are there,
indeed.
But like there is like a tight knit group of people that, like you said, if you come to Kansas City, we can hang out. You can trust me. You'll probably go to church with me. We'll
Yeah,
go over here and
indeed.
hoop. We'll go down. I'll take you to the open mic spot, the jazz place, and like
Yeah,
you'll have that trust. Like, yo, War's gonna hold it down,
indeed.
And that's saying you're gonna take me in to the right Coney spot. And
Yeah,
Marv said he's gonna take
indeed.
me to the place called the Car Jack. Yeah, I don't know what that is, but
Yeah. Yeah,
but
man.
like
It's
like,
so dope. It's so dope just
yeah,
being able to have those relationships. I know myself just being involved in battle rap. I don't think I'll ever not be involved in some kind of way. I've thrown events, I've been in events, I've battled, put my throw my hat in this, just having conversations with my friends. I think that's dope. That's
mhm.
cool. Um, just in closing, because I don't want to have you on here all day. I could talk to you all day. Um,
You good? I'm saying.
is there, man? I got two questions. One is, what kind of advice would you give to someone uh, getting into battle rap? Like they're like, yo, I'm like not just anybody, somebody that's
Yeah,
good, like somebody that's
yeah,
dope, like like they got it, they just don't
yeah.
you know know what to do.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing is identify what you're there for. When you set your goals, like ask yourself, like, if I'm good, right, is my goal to be on this league, on this stage, and battle this person? Is my goal, like stay true to what your goals are being there. Somebody like myself, like my goals are what we're doing now. You know what I mean? Like I love cultivating the friendships, competing with like-minded people, meeting new friends, traveling, getting paid for it, and having fun. You know what I mean? That was my goal, and I'm doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But like if you're coming in and you're saying, my goal is this, and you're setting the bar here, and you're constantly, having to deal with the politics of battle rap or whatever it may be, and it's discouraging you, like I would just say set your goals, and then these days it's a flash in the pan era, man. Like the next person is on his way up 6 months later. And so how are you going to set yourself apart from everybody else? Let's be honest. I'm white and I'm Christian. That helped. You know what I mean? But at the same time, like my preparation, my rebuttals, my consistency, my delivery, and all that kind of stuff is things that people talk about and say, yo, he's on a different level with these type things.
Yes.
So like there's a lot of good rappers out there, man. There's a lot of people that put together words well, that do all that kind of stuff, that are witty. But the reason why New Jersey Twerk is where he is, and the reason why Geechee Gotti is where he is because New Jersey Twerk was different. He was just, I mean, he's the first stretch four we had in battle rap. He was the first Dirk Nowitzki of 7 foot tall that's out there shooting with the guards,
Right, right, right,
and
right, definitely.
he boom, and then Geechee Gotti was like the one that really came in with the gang, the Crip, and just he embodied the streets and everything, and he took that and he made it. And that these guys aren't there because they're just great rappers or great, great wit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I would just tell them, focus on trying to find a way to be different, because there's somebody else who might just be a little bit not as good as you that will take that battle for free that you want $500 for. And if I'm a league, I'm booking them too, unless you can tell me why, you're
Yep.
so different.
Yep. Indeed. And I guess, ah man, uh last, do you ever find that people take the fact that you are Christian for, or they attempt to take it for granted, or believe that they can, uh, that you're just gonna be okay with things because you don't
Yeah.
because you're such a nice guy and nothing,
Yeah. You want
but
you
this
want to
guy,
open up that
this guy that
story?
just got done talking about the burner
Yeah.
and shooting my face off. Let me, like,
Yeah.
do you deal with that? Is that something?
Yeah, I mean, not to beat a dead horse, but I don't know if you remember the story specifically, but there's been people that I've met that thought that they could just talk to me and say anything that they want to say because, I'm supposed to have a reserved behavior or I'm supposed to turn the other cheek or, kind of be like that. So like I think that um, people do have a certain idea, and that's the tough thing too. Is like because as a Christian, like I do want to embody grace and I do want to embody mercy, and I want to be able to say that I was slow to anger, and but guess what? I'm 100% human. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And so like just because I didn't that time doesn't mean oh he's a fake Christian or whatever.
right.
But and so people and that's what they want to do, man. Like the minute that you say that you believe in something you put a target on your back for people to prove that you don't.
Yeah.
And so I've had conversations and I've had people that have antagonized me online, in person, and that, have basically just tried to tempt me and test me with like, how they approach me thinking that, oh, he's a Christian. And sometimes, I've been, obedient and been able to show grace. And then sometimes I've, cussed them out.
Yeah, I think it's a form of bullying, and not bullying in the sense of you being helpless, but an attempt to, because you don't
Hmm.
believe that a response will happen. Like I remember, I came to you, I hit you up in your on Twitter because when I was in a battle, I had freestyled something, and
Oh
I
yeah.
got my words, I just got my words twisted or whatever, and I said something, and the second it came out my mouth, I can't stop rapping because one, I'm freestyling, and two, I'm in the middle of a
Right.
battle. But all while I'm rapping, I'm like, yo, man, I ain't like that. You, and I made it my business. I'm like, yo, I think it's real corny when people disrespect someone's belief. It's
Yeah.
okay to have a debate about whether it's
Right.
true or not, because at the end of the day, arguing theology is going to get you nowhere. But exchanging theology sparks interest, and it might spark interest into what you're into or vice versa,
Yeah.
but it gives you an opportunity to actually learn something new. So i
Yeah.
i always thought it was corny, I always thought it was weak uh when people would do that. I also understand it's a flip side of the coin, and I also was like, yo, I don't want you to condemn your opponent every round either. And I think you do a
Right.
great job of not
Yeah.
doing that. It's like, okay, I'm gonna go to hell if I don't do okay.
Yeah.
All right, okay. And you
Yeah.
do such a great way of making it keep excuse me, you do such a great thing in regards to just keeping it fresh. But I always think that's trash. I always think that's um a weak, poorly skilled. I like when people break down the and they do a comparative contrast in which it looks like a debate. But if it's just like, ah,
Right.
man, F that, you stupid,
Yeah.
you don't know, it's got to be a real good gimmick or a real good something in it to make it dope.
Right.
Um,
And that's like it goes both ways though because I did an interview last night and it was actually just an all Christian channel and they weren't familiar with battle rap. And one of the guys he watches my battles and he was like, "Yeah, man, I watched you versus some cat named Cortez or whatever." And he was like, and he was just spewing a bunch and he was like, "You smoked that guy. You killed him 3-0, right?" And I just stopped him and I was like, "So I'm just going to be transparent with you, bro. I was like, as Christians, right? You have an opportunity, you know, if you believe that I'm out here, being an example of what I believe and stuff like that, you just throwing slander at guys that don't believe what we believe and jumping on Twitter saying A Ward won 3-0, he was just saying a bunch of trash.
mhm.
I was like, it's not helping anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, this dude is very talented. I didn't smoke him 3-0, like just because you agree with my content, not his, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I was like, I don't ever want to see my fans or followers on Twitter like taking Christianity to this level of speaking down on people who think that I lost battles. You know what I mean? So like
Mhm.
I always try to stop my fans like, yo, don't talk to him like that. Like, I mean, he's a solid dude, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this is battle rap, whatever. So like when you say like it's corny and it's weak, I think of it in the same way. It's like whenever I have people that only like me because I'm Christian and they're Christian, I think it's corny and weak for them to attack, the battlers that don't believe that and say, you're trash. All you do is talk about guns, A
Yeah.
Ward 3-0. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
And
Something
so,
that same mindset when I was younger coming up, they had a fight club battle here in Detroit. It's kind of when we kind of got open to the acapella format of battling
it's
because
not when you smoke, it's not when you smoke Renegade, is it?
nah, man, I did that in New York actually.
Oh, okay.
Of all places, man, I've never lost a battle in New York or to somebody from New York. Um, so we we did this fight club battle or whatever, and people were coming through, and they had brought Mook there. This guy named Preach. If you watch old Fight Club battles, there's a guy named Preach, and he used to have uh, braces on his arms
Mhm.
for his legs, so he used crutches rather. And he had a bar where he was like, man, and the last guy that played Superman ended up like me. And he throw his crutches on the like. He was so dope, man.
Ah,
Preach. I talked to
he
him
was the
every
first
few
props. He was the first one using props.
bang. So Proof had brought in the New York guys after like 30 of us had already battled each other or whatever. So
Yeah.
we were like, man, the fix is in, man. This some BS, man, or whatever the case was. But basically, he just wanted to get his best in whatever. So
Hmm.
the New York guys were rapping, and it was a guy that was person that came to this spot. He actually threw a night there, and he started booing one of the New York guys. And Proof stopped the battle and had him put out. He's like,
Yeah,
yo,
that's dope.
we're not doing that. So like with
Right.
me, like when me and Mav battled and somebody tried to like he was up there rapping, man. You just didn't like it. Yo, you don't have to
Right.
disrespect this art, man. Let him like he not messing up. Like you like
Yeah.
and is actually dope. You just you know. So I
Yeah.
think that's very very important. I think I do the same thing when I hit people to you in the beginning. Now I just don't say anything. I just be like, yo, man, check this out. Yo, check this out. My friends, their son is heavily uh into the church. He's really into your battles. He can't watch me and Marv's battles because they're
Mhm.
you know me and Marv's
Yeah.
battles.
Yeah.
But so it is so dope to have that. It shows it shows talent. It shows the ability to also view talent that isn't like yours and say
Yeah.
like hey man, just yo, I'm gonna respect what he does. I might not agree with what he does, but
Yeah.
I still respect it. So I
Yeah,
appreciate
it's
that.
a beautiful thing, man. I think at the end of the day, like as an artist in battle rap, you want new eyes on you, you know? Like I don't mind no shame that does the transgender battler in
Mm-hmm.
the, like people are like, wait, what is this getting to? Like that person might have brought people to battle rap that would have never set, and
Mm-hmm.
who knows, they might have bought one of my hoodies because they went down the rabbit trail of watching all kinds of battles and then
Mm-hmm.
they developed their favorites, and like it's like what's like you say, like there's different styles and different types of people that appeal to different people. And like there's never anything wrong with more people watching, more people supporting and buying,
Mm-hmm.
and following. And I got, like 10 or 15 of my friends that, now, and I got a couple friends that never watched battle rap till I started battling. And they know more about it than me, like they's like, nah, that's when Young Ill battled such and such on, da da da. And I'm like, yo, what? And like they, in the last 2 years, then become, super fans, and
Mm-hmm.
so it's just a really cool thing to see, and then another thing I'll say about my content that I think is a blessing is I don't feel ashamed, like, and I wouldn't say you feel ashamed. I don't think anybody feels ashamed about their art, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But like I've had schools ask, can they like take content and show it in their creative writing classes? And I've had schools ask me to come speak, and so there's never that feeling inside of me that says,
I can't come.
uh, I don't know if I want to show them this one, or like I hope that they don't feel a certain way. And now I got to explain, well, see, in the context, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, I kind of have that burden off my shoulders to be able to say, like, yeah, this is, that was me. That's what I did,
Yeah.
and,
There was
so,
I put out a this is a while back. I put out an album. It was called The Light Project, and I was going through a very very trying time in my life where like spirituality and my beliefs were being tested and strengthened at the same time. I was going through
mhm.
a lot, and I did this project. It's called The Light Project. It's on iTunes. Shameless plug, but check it out.
Yep.
And it's a clean album, and not clean just in the sense of the language, but the content and what I was talking about. It was a album about my relationship with God, spirituality, how I felt, and it felt great to perform those songs in church.
Yeah.
I got a picture that I can to this day of a show where my son I got the mic and I'm rapping and my son might be
That's
2 years old and he's in the crowd with his Detroit Fitted hat on looking up at me from the crowd, and it's crazy. So being able to have that, I know
yeah,
based on the content that I have, myself, I know about picking and trying to find what you can
yeah,
play when you go to. I don't even sometimes tell them that I rap when I go to the school. I just be like, yeah, man, what's up,
right.
man? Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's a blessing. Man, I do want to wrap it up. I will ask this of you if it's cool, man. Can you get us out of here in prayer, man? I think it's only right.
Yeah. Most definitely,
All
bro.
right.
Heavenly Father, God, we just thank you, Lord, for this time, Lord, this time of fellowship, Lord, to continue to build. We want to thank you, Lord, for the things we take for granted. Man, it says give thanks in all things. And we woke up today with health, with working limbs, with family, friends, with a home over our head, food for our stomachs, God. So we thank you for that. It also says, like I said, give thanks in all things, Lord. And right now we're going through a different time, like with this quarantine. And Lord, right now there's a lot of people that are non-believers that are saying, where is your God to us? And then there's believers, that are going through doubts and saying, Lord, where are you? So I just want to ask, Lord, that you would just continue to give us comfort, give us peace, a peace that passes the understanding, Lord. Give us some clarity. In times like these, we stick to your promises that are in the scriptures, Lord, and you have so many promises of, I'm not going to leave you, I promise, blessed are those that endure to the end. And so as we stick to those promises, Lord, just become very real to us and continue to give us reassurance, Lord. I ask that you would just bless the families, Lord, bless Brother Mcody's family, Lord, his friends, the unspoken prayer requests, Lord, the things that a lot of us are transparent, but there's some things, Lord, that we don't like to share, Lord. I ask that you would just work your will in our lives, Lord, of the things that, that we hold back, Lord. I ask that you would just be with them, Lord, spiritually, health, physically, financially, God, that you would just, you would continue, Lord, your spirit would continue to marinate, Lord, as he works on music, Lord, vision, and just continue to bless us both, Lord, our friends and family. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Appreciate you,
My
bro.
God. Yo, man, I appreciate you. Yo. I said, yo, podcast. Quest Mcody. You got my man A War. I said, yo. See you soon. My God, man, I appreciate it, man. All right, man, for sure.
You already know, man. Hit me up if you need anything else. I'm about to go listen to that album you talking about.
Oh, word, man. Please do, man. Thank you. This episode, I said, yo, with Quest Mcody was brought to you by the Stash House Culture Shop, located at 17360 West 7 Mile, 2 blocks east of Southfield Freeway.
I said, yo.
Detroit, take me back to Cali.
Well, I started off in Watts.
Okay.
My mother, Deborah Mosley, my father, Daniel Myers. They had me young. Like, my mom was 15 when she had me. My dad was 16. My mom from Chicago. My dad's from Mississippi.
Okay.
And they moved. Yeah, I don't know how they met. I never asked.